first look at what's on the front pages. As they arrive, let's take a look at this day newspaper, our sister publication. Leading headline this morning: at the Arise Presidential Town Hall Series 2, candidates harp on economy and security. Some writers there, Showara says, I'll ensure new constitution is evolved. Adebayo says, wrong security architecture responsible for our woes. Meanwhile, Sani says, rule of law, antidote to economic poverty. Umadi of Abga says, my commitment to state police will be sacrosanct. That leading photo there, let there be peace in Okija. You have the Igwe of Okija, governor of Lagos State, yesterday at the Azudialu Obiadise's Foundation of the Okija community in Lagos. More headlines on the front of this day this morning. $460,000 for future. PDP considers legal actions to stop Tinubu. Let's take some riders. They say Section 137 of the Constitution makes APC's candidates ineligible. Insists presidential hopeful must address nation on allegation. Go to court. Ex-Lagos governor is unstoppable. That's the ruling party firing back. Atiku urges Nigerians to unite to recover our country. Above the nameplate of this day this morning, Naira redesign. CBN moves to protect unbanked vulnerable in rural communities. And attacks on INEC offices a threat to the 2023 election, says Obi's media office.
The Punch newspaper. National carrier domestic airlines ask court to terminate the federal government Ethiopian deal. Well, Airpeace Azman Airlines are seeking withdrawal of the Nigerian air license. We'll find out why soon. And there's more. Rising inflation drives consumption spending to 57 trillion naira. That's according to the Ministry of Finance. CBN releases $3.5 billion for foreign education under Buhari. That report is on page 17. And the NCDC boss has been speaking about why Nigeria made top cholera cases worldwide again. And debate presidential candidates lambast federal government for corruption and insecurity. That's series 2 of Arise News Town Hall. We'll be looking forward to all the analysis on the morning show. And flood affected 3.2 million Nigerians, 1.4 million displaced. That's according to the United Nations. And Celestial Church sacks guard, apologizes for attacking Punchman.
APC Tinubu remains a solid, reliable candidate. That's a big headline in the Nation newspaper this morning. And also, wicked others not keen on truce with Atiku. Fake news wouldn't help opposition candidate to engage Nigerians in diaspora. And Lagos Chief of Staff loses wife. And also in the Nation newspaper this morning, Buhari Oshomole Obi to open projects in rivers. Senate panel queries 90 over 960 million naira for 43 officials. And Gates Foundation votes $1.4 billion for agric in Nigeria. Honors my surgery experience by Vice President Yemi Oshibajo.
Let's take a look at The Guardian Nigeria this morning. Its leading headline, World Diabetes Day. Over 10 million Nigerians have diabetes, and it kills more than COVID-19 or cancer, according to The Guardian. Some writers, condition major cause of blindness, kidney failure, heart attacks, and stroke. Physical exercise restores brain insulin sensitivity and may protect against diabetes. Stakeholders seek clarity on implementation of sugar tax. More headlines. Petrol scarcity marketers accuse Nimasa NPA of dollarizing transactions. That's on page 4. Meanwhile, Showare, Adebayo, Sani, Umadi take turns at Arise TV Town Hall, and they set their 2023 agenda. Let's take some more headlines now. Sponsoring fake news won't win election, says the APC. Uduaghan declares support for Okowa and seeks unity in the PDP.
Other international papers, Financial Times, crypto races to contain FTX fallout as traders pull billions from market. G20 gathers, Boyd Biden faces Xi tests. Of course, President Joe Biden is already in Indonesia. He's already met with President Joko Widodo. He will be meeting with the Chinese president later today, and that's ahead of the G20 summit, which begins tomorrow. Of course, other world leaders are landing on the island, and they will be joining the talks as soon as they get there. Still talking Financial Times, warning of £70 billion debt rise sharpens Hunt's focus before autumn statement. And in the U.S., the Democrats have taken control of the Senate. That's after that victory in Nevada. There's still one state outstanding, and that's Georgia. That race is between Reverend Warnock and Herschel Walker of the Republican Party. There's a Democrat in the Republican Party, and that runoff will be coming up in December to the 6th to be specific. And it's already 50 for the Democrats and 49 for the Republicans. It's a majority, but it wouldn't hurt to get another victory if you ask the Democrats.
And in the Daily Telegraph this morning, Russia is a rogue state, Sunak tells G20 leaders. And everyone will pay more tax, says Hunt, as he plans a new raid.
Let's take a look at the Independent. Headlines, Month of Hell. Bell True reports from Kassin as it emerges from occupation. Record waits for asylum seekers as backlog soars. Now more than 10,000 have waited at least 3 years for a decision. And for the press preview, let's bring in Emmanuel Bello, who joins us now. Emmanuel, good morning, and thanks for joining us. Let's take a look at this Day newspaper, and of course, that leading headline, the Arise Presidential Town Hall series of yesterday with another 4 presidential candidates. You have Showore, Adebayo, Sani, and Umwadi. What were some of your takeouts from the Series 2 of Arise Presidential Town Hall series?
Well, Nkechi, I think we can start by saying authoritatively that this day is doing, the Arise TV is doing what a network of this magnitude should be doing at this time, and actually providing Nigerians with the necessary data they will be needing to make up their minds. That's if many people have not already, decided where they are going to vote, because this town hall, brings to the front burner some of the issues, and then we'll get to hear directly from the presidential candidates their ideas. And one thing you can be rest assured of is that there are no such shortages of ideas on what to do. They are all in agreement that the economy needs to be fixed, and that there's a serious security problem. It seems as if the biggest issues on the ballot right now are the issue of the economy and the issue of security. Basically, that's what's it's really agitating the minds of many people. And this presidential candidate are seriously weighing on it. They seem to have different ideas on what to do, but it boils down to how they try to firm up the economy, rally around our taxation system, for instance, to see whether they can get more earnings from that sector and revive, dead institutions or dead companies and all of that. Especially on security, they have far-reaching ideas. For instance, the presidential candidate of ABGA, Prof, was very professorial about it, and he said, look, it's the synergy between local vigilante and, of course, a well-armed police force that will do the magic. Some going and looking at the problem that it's because the military has weakened the police during the military era that we're having those problems. So it's a teachable moment for everyone, and it's like going to a class. You get to hear things, some of the things but these men and women, these men really weighing strongly on the issue. So, for instance, coming out and saying that part of the problem is the Constitution itself. Some have argued that there's nothing wrong with the Constitution, but a lot of argument out there say that the Constitution itself is part of the problem, that the disunity that you have emanates from there. He say the thing is to work on the constitution. It's actually intoning what many observers say, that look, this the constitution we now operate was, practically forced on us, and that if you do something about the constitution, then you then do something about the unity. So it's a festival of ideas, and I keep saying that look, this election will probably boil down to that. For the first time, Nigerians are very keen on listening very hard to what the people who want to rule them are saying, and it's very important what ideas you have. And town halls like this, especially this almost revolutionary one that Arise TV is doing, is providing Nigerians with that needed opportunity, the platform to be able to listen directly to the men and women who want to change this country.
Speaking of change, Emmanuel, still on this day, $460,000 forfeiture. PDP considers legal actions to stop Tinubu. Of course, the party is doubling down on those documents that's come out of the US, and they're saying, well, that INEC, that's the electoral body, needs to disqualify the All Progressives Congress candidate. But the APC doubling down, saying the candidate is innocent and is qualified to run, and the PDP should go to court.
Yeah, it's something that has dogged Tinubu, almost practically in the last 2 decades. And the stories of his drug, his relationship with whatever transpired, in the 90s when he was in the US. There's no clarity about it. But again, it's part of the problem of the Tinubu candidacy, and his men, especially those who are burnishing his image, are dealing with that right now. Instead of focusing on the kind of things that the Arise TV town hall is focusing, what are Tinubu's ideas on the economy? His handlers, especially his media handlers, will have to deal with this kind of problems. The problem of his biography, his person, his personality, who he is, what he's done in the past. Those are the sort of things that you find those trying to burnish his image are dealing with. And now this back and forth over those forfeitures. First, it was a huge legal argument last week when lawyers were weighing on it. And now, of course, the parties, the campaigns themselves have taken it upon themselves to continue to talk about it. It seemed to be a very huge problem that will not go away. Of course, that INEC letter, the INEC itself saying that it's not investigating Tinubu or planning to stop him. But the PDP is digging in, saying that look, no, there is something there to be said. I think eventually the candidate himself, Tinubu, will be forced to either appear on the program to talk about it and clear the air on this. But it seems as if it's a narrative that is not going away. And sadly, the jury is out there on the matter, and the campaign, the APC campaign, will have to actually deal with this problem, among the other problems that the APC campaign is dealing with. But certainly the issue of the candidate himself, who from day one has continuously he's an issue himself, who he is as a person. People have questioned his health, his age, his record, his past, his background, his biography. With some people even saying that, well, all that doesn't matter. What matters now is what he plans to do for the country. But a lot of people will also want to hear that. Unfortunately, the candidate doesn't afford or avail himself to bigger platform where he can talk freely on probably this and other matters. I think it's going to only help the campaign if he does that.
Still talking politics, Emmanuel. Just over the weekend, we thought the G5 were getting feelers that they were throwing their support behind the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. But in the nation this morning, we're hearing Wike and others not willing to have truce with Atiku. Let's contemplate this for a moment.
Well, Benny, it seems to be as if the Nation newspaper has really taken an editorial stand on this matter and not giving the PDP a chance to actually mend their offences and, of course, settle. They're always running with stories. You're right, there were stories or what looks like some, owing to the statement of Wike himself that, look, he's still open for some peace moves. But the Nation now reporting that has collapsed yet again. And, digging in strongly to show that, look, the PDP cannot find its, they cannot solve this problem that is bedeviling them, the wicked problem that started almost like, like a child's play, and now it's a huge, huge problem. With people even saying that, look, if Atiku doesn't reconcile with the G5 and that he doesn't even stand his chance at the presidency, some people are bold enough to say that. So, and a lot of people are saying, look, settle with Wike, do something about it. Wike himself actually expressing hope, I think last week when he was in Bochi, that look, I'm still open for some form of negotiation. But the nation is reporting this morning that is too late and that it's not going to happen. As we run into the week, we probably will see new things happening to the G5 or the peace moves, and to see how they're able to deal with it. Excuse me.
Manuel, thank you so much. You've done well today. That's the press preview. Let's hear from you. Follow us on Twitter at Arise TV. You can tweet with the hashtag Arise Daybreak.